While we were in Ames this weekend for the GOP straw poll, me and fellow Minnesota Change member Sean Wright met up with Mike Huckabee. We asked him a few questions about Ron Paul, and also attempted to ask him questions about Operation Ajax and the notorious Council on Foreign Relations.
That's a long way from us. Got it? All right.
While Mike Huckabee fielded questions about former Bilderberg member Rick Perry and propped up presidential establishment hopeful Mitt Romney, me and Sean Wright patiently waited to get our questions in.
So, you know, it may just say that there were some volunteers that went out here and worked for Perry. I don't think I would read too much into it because neither one of them were significant enough other than, you know, the residual effect of some strong volunteer efforts.
All right. Well, thank you.
You bet.
Dr. Ron Paul, that was behind by only 200 votes behind Michelle Bachmann.
Yeah. He had a great organization, he had a lot of people, but look, if he doesn't change his message on Iran about nuclear proliferation, he's not going to be taken as a serious candidate for President of the United States.
By the mainstream media
no,
or by Americans?
Anybody who understands that you don't give Iran a nuclear device. I mean, I'm not talking about people who are political. I'm talking about people with common sense. You do not believe that Iran should have a nuclear weapon.
What about on his foreign policy issue, like bringing it back to our land? What about the central bank, the Federal Reserve System? He's got a very strong point on the ending the Federal Reserve.
You can be right on 98 things, but if you think a 2-year-old will play with a loaded pistol in your house, you don't get to watch the kids. And this is a guy who actually said on this national stage in here that he's okay with Iran having a nuclear weapon. Are you freaking kidding me? Come on.
What do you think about Ron Paul mentioning that we started our war with Iran after a military coup was carried out to overthrow their democratic
all the things he says.
I'm sorry, folks, but I have to interrupt Mike right there. I asked him about Operation Ajax, a 1953 coup that was carried out by the United States government to overthrow Iran's democratically elected leader Mohammad Mossadegh, thus ushering in another era of dictatorial power. Dr. Paul discusses these setups, but no other candidates will be brave enough to do so.
Say a lot of things about Iran, but where he drew the line and where he lost a lot of us as a serious candidate, and he can correct this if he wants to come back and walk it back and say he didn't mean it that way. But until he does, you cannot say that a country that has said that its purpose in having a nuclear device is shoot Israel first and America second, that does not make you credible. I'm sorry, that makes you lack credibility.
Why don't you think we'd be a threat if we weren't occupying? What do you think about that?
Can I ask you real quick? Sorry, you mentioned earlier you don't think
of him is clear. That's the point. Right.
We got to go. Thank you, guys.
Hey, one question more. Can I get one more with you?
I said everything about Ron Paul.
Not about Ron Paul.
He's got to say.
It's about our mainstream media involvement with like Council on Foreign Relations.
Sorry, guys.
He's got a lot of TV shows.
I understand.
Understandable.
What about the Council on Foreign Relations?
Guys, thank you very much.
What about the involvement with international groups that are telling our presidents, people of power, what to do? Foreign involvement, or entanglement. It's all something you're a part of.
Where'd she go?
Good base play, too.
Our hostility with Iran started with a false flag cover-up by the United States military. That's true, sir. Our involvement in Iran, all our hostility started with a coup with the overthrow of Mohammad Mossadegh. Democratically elected leader in '53, the government went in with a coup to overthrow him, and they haven't wanted to be friendly since.
That very well may be the case, but I went to public school, so I don't know anything about history.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
How can I say anything about it?
Ron Paul mentioned in the debate, he said the war actually started in '53 when he corrected Rick Santorum.
I know, but I mean, I can't speak on anything I haven't learned, I haven't studied on myself.
Fair enough. Study it. What do you think about Ron Paul mentioning that we started our war with Iran after a military coup was carried out to overthrow their democratic leader?